All right, everybody, we've got Bo here. Our first question is from Bill Cameron.
Hey, Bo, talk about the relationship now that it's been a little bit of time with coaches Harsin and Bobo, and then as a follow-up, just how do you react to the doubters, the skeptics that think they've seen the best of Bo Nix?
Oh, well, your first question, Coach Harsin and Coach Bobo, I've really enjoyed getting to know those guys and what they bring to the table as far as being coaches. And they've coached in many different situations, many different conferences. And so they've been around college football and they know exactly what it's about. Coach Harsin, obviously, all his success at Boise and everything he was able to do with that program. And then Coach Bobo with everything he's been able to do from an offensive standpoint and all the quarterbacks that he's been able to coach. And so just being able to learn from them is I'm going to really enjoy. I know moving forward, and especially this offseason, as we didn't have so much recruiting and they didn't have to go out so much, I could really kind of be around them more often than probably normal. But as far as your second question, there's really nothing you can do about it, to be honest with you. Everyone's always going to have something to say, positive or negative. One thing that always just sticks out to me is even going to the cross, Jesus had people talking bad about him. So if they were talking about him, then they're going to consistently talk bad about me, that's for sure. But like I said, there's nothing you can do but just continue to work and put my head down and do what I'm supposed to do and just do whatever I can to make my team better.
Thanks.
Next, Gianna Hahn.
Hey, Bo. So you've had a lot of transition during your time here from being a freshman to a new coordinator to a new coach, and Brian Harsin said that he also had a lot of transition while he was a player, and so he really understood what you're going through and wants to try to ease your way. What has he done to make that transition easier for you? What has he told you about his experiences?
Well, he's done a great job of being in constant communication with us and allowing us a good a platform to have a good relationship with him, and he is very open, and he tells us, hey, if you ever need anything, just let me know and I'll make it happen for you. And so he's very a personal guy. He's very relational. I think that's one thing that sticks out about him the most, is how he cares for his players, and he's very attentive to detail, and he looks at the little things very carefully, and that's what's made him such a good coach. And like you said, I think he went through 4 different head coaches, which is quite a bit for a college career, and so he knows exactly what we're going through, and I think that speaks volumes when a coach knows exactly what the player is going through.
Justin Ferguson.
Hey, but what's the one biggest thing you're looking to improve the most here during spring practices?
That's a great question. Obviously, as a quarterback and as a competitor, I really want to, really everything, every part of my game, I want to get better. I want to be consistent, especially from the pocket, and gauging my receivers. And obviously, we've got new receivers from last year. A few guys have moved on. So gauging those guys and their speed, adjusting, helping those guys out as they're learning a completely new offense as well as I am. And so just getting on the same page with those guys, sticking in the pocket, making throws, because I feel like this spring is going to be really good, because like last year we didn't have one. So this year, the extra practice time to sharpen up on some things, and my feet, having quick feet, and just the little things that go in part of playing quarterback.
Tom Green.
Hey, Bo, you kind of touched on it, but going into year 3, this is your 3rd different offensive coordinator. You didn't get a spring last year. Just how important is this spring for you and your development after the last 2 years?
I think it's huge, especially if I'll take advantage of it and make the most out of it. And what I'm really focusing on is just, like I said, my technique and my attention to detail, and making every rep, making every play count. Because like you said, even though I have had 3 different OCs, that's going to be probably for the rest of my playing career. Coaches move around quite a bit. That's just the nature of the business. And so I think it's good for me now to learn how it works right now, so I won't be shaken up with it later. So I think however it goes, just making sure that I'm learning the offense how I'm supposed to, and know the ins and outs of it, so I'm prepared every day so I can get better and I can make strides this spring and take it for my advantage.
Tom Green.
I just went.
Oh, I'm sorry, my fault. Nathan King.
Hey, Bo, you touched on it a little bit, but obviously Eli, Seth, Anthony not here anymore. You had them for a couple years. What are you planning on doing this spring to kind of develop a good chemistry heading into the season with that, like you talked about, that group of new receivers?
Yeah, that's a great question. Obviously, I have had those guys for 2 years, and so this is kind of new group, if you would say. But they had good reps last year. They learned from the guys ahead of them, so they're ready to go and they're excited for their opportunity. And those guys are extremely competitive, like I am, and so they're going to do whatever it takes for them to be ready, so they can compete at a high level. So I'm working on focusing on myself, making sure that I'm transitioning well with the new offense and I know what I'm supposed to do. So then eventually I can start helping those guys out. But obviously this spring, it's their time to kind of grow too. And so they're going to go through some things for themselves. And I just got to be there for them and be consistent on my end, put the ball where it needs to be, and just help those guys grow.
Jordan Hill.
Talking about Coach Harsin and Coach Bobo, two guys that played quarterback and obviously have experience coaching quarterbacks. Just what did you sort of know about them before they came on here at Auburn, and how exciting is it to know that those are two guys with a lot of experience in quarterback?
Well, they've had a lot of experience, and they've also had a lot of success. When you look at Coach Harsin, he's coached some good quarterbacks, and they have done a really good job in his system. And he has won a bunch of games, and I think that speaks to his leadership and him being a head coach and just how he wins, and I think that's important. And then Coach Bobo, on the other hand, he's been through, obviously his time at Georgia, he had some really good quarterbacks and produced some good offenses, and he's very multiple. Both of them, they're very multiple, and so I'm excited to learn different things, maybe try some different things, and at the end of the day, they'll put me in a great situation, and I'm confident of that.
Mark Murphy.
Yeah, Bo, from your perspective as a quarterback, how is this offensive system you're learning now different from what you played the last couple of years?
It's different. Obviously, we're going to have some carryover because a football play is a football play, and most offenses run the same things, kind of similar to defense. Every defense is going to run consistent things, but they're going to have a little tweaks in there. So it's just learning those little things that are different. May go a little bit more under center and stuff like that, more than what we've seen in the past. But at the end of the day, you're either running or you're throwing, and so that part's going to be similar. It just maybe the presentation will be a little bit different.
Brian Matthews.
Hi, Bo. Coach Harsin talked a lot about implementing his culture. How have things sort of changed in regards to workouts, discipline, accountability since he's arrived?
Yeah, he's come in very passionate, very relentless. He's very attentive to detail, like I said. He's extreme when it comes to that, which is, I think, what we really need. We have some young guys that kind of have to take the next step, as we've talked about, to be in important roles for next year. We have some key guys move on, and so some guys returning on defense, which is good. And so those guys, the attention to detail and all those little things to build the culture is extremely important. And I felt like we've done a good job of that up until this point. Now going into spring ball, we're going to continue with that. But like we've touched on a little bit as far as the weight room and how it's been a little bit different. Workouts have been tougher. And so certain things like that have just been different. So we can just continue to grow and be tougher and work on building the new culture.
Jeff Spiegel.
Well, I guess counting your dad, this would be like the fourth offensive coordinator in the last 4 years. But I guess one of the advantages of that is, you learn some things from each guy. You're, very smart coaches. What do you think has been your biggest takeaway so far from the coaches you worked under? And what do you expect to learn the most from Coach Harsin and Coach Bobo?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. Obviously, had a good foundation in high school from my dad. He really taught me everything I knew up to that point. So when I went to college, I had Coach Malzahn and Coach Dillingham, who for my first year at Auburn, they did a good job of kind of simplifying it for me and making it very easy to understand so we could play fast and not get too out of control, and so we could be good at certain things and not have to like go everywhere for a bunch of different things. So I learned a lot about defenses with Coach Dillingham, and especially on the college level, how different defenses are on third downs and things like that. And then Coach Morris came in with similar stuff, but obviously it was different because he had moved on and kind of grown his different offense. But it was similar. It was still the spread stuff. Learned a bunch about him and how he uses motions and shifts and stuff like that. And so now with Coach Harsin doing the under center stuff, Coach Bobo, haven't really done that in the past, so that'll be fun to learn. And as a quarterback, as a football brain, I really enjoy learning anything I can about football, so that'll be fun. Because moving on, I want to either use it or maybe down the road coaching, I'll be able to come back to it. So just learning more football and just understanding the aspects of it. I've had 4 different coaches, but they've also taught me completely different things, which has been great for my development.
Got time for 2 more. First one's from Philip Marshall.
You guys, when you had beaten Mississippi State and a big win, and then all of a sudden everything changes. How difficult was it? 1, just what happened, and then 2, having to get used to a completely new coaching staff and new way of doing things.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough, and change is difficult. Change is hard to go through, but sometimes if you take advantage of it, on the other side of change, you can it can present opportunity, and I think that's what we have right now. We have a great opportunity with our new staff, and we're all excited. We were excited to get on the field on Monday, that's for sure, and to be around different coaches, do some different things, and so to continue on with that, we're extremely excited, looking forward to the future. So like I said, change brings opportunity, and with that, you can look at it a few different ways. You can make the most of your opportunity, or you can look down upon it and let it get to you. So we're looking forward to the future, that's for sure.
Last one, Jordan Hill.
We had a chance to talk to Nick, and looking through, it looked like some of the offensive linemen were able to bulk up over the winter. Just what did you see from the offensive line as far as what they were able to do during winter conditions?
Yeah, I mean, felt like they did a good job of moving some weight. Obviously, offensive linemen, that's kind of what they do. They get down in the trenches and they have to move some big, heavy guys. And, I mean, there's no better way to prepare for that than lifting heavy weights. And we had a bunch of guys do some heavy weights on their PRs and things like that. So I think as a group we've gotten stronger. And if you look at their performance last year, all year they just got better and better and better. And then there in the middle we had some injuries, which kind of shook us all up. But by the end of it, we were back to being pretty good. And so a whole year of experience will be nothing but good for those guys. And I'm excited for them as they continue moving forward. And now they have some swag about them. They know what to expect, and they've seen a lot of looks. And so now they know how to communicate with each other. And we're just familiar and comfortable with each other. And I think that is extremely important when you're looking at an offensive line.
Thank you, Bo. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and start taking questions for Nick. Our first question is from Jordan Hill.
Nick, just want to ask about the energy around the team on Monday when you guys started spring practice, and also want to ask about the offensive linemen, just what you saw from everybody through winter workouts.
Yeah, first the energy. I mean, we had spring football obviously last year, and so getting back on the field in the springtime all together, there was a ton of energy. Everybody was excited to play. We were just in helmets, so I know once the pads come on, it's going to be even more energy. But it was fun. It was a good practice. We had a solid practice, and everybody got to work really hard. In the off season, these past winter workouts, the offensive line, we did really well. A lot of guys got big numbers on squats and bench and stuff and clean, and so I think that's what we were going for. And I think everybody did a great job doing that and buying into what we're doing.
Jason Caldwell.
Nick, I know you hadn't put pads on or anything yet, but what have you seen out of two junior college guys, Coffey and Killian, that they've had a winter workout, winter conditioning for the first time. How different do those guys look to you now?
Yeah, they've gotten bigger. Coffee got a lot stronger. Killian got a lot stronger. With his knee and stuff, his lower body strength is getting better. And I think it was a big off-season workouts for them. Getting bigger and stronger. I think that's what those guys needed, and they got the job done. So.
How much can they add at maybe potentially a tackle just with those guys being healthy and now bigger and stronger?
Oh yeah, they're good players, man. They're fast and big now, and they can move. So they'll definitely be an asset at tackle.
Next, Tom Green.
Hey Nick, I know it's still early. You've only had one practice, but I just wanted to get what your early impressions were of Coach Friend.
I like Coach Friend a lot. He's really technique oriented. We're really learning a new offense right now, so just getting everything down with that. And he's a really good teacher as well. I mean, he's good at explaining concepts and stuff to us. So he's the right guy for the job, and I'm looking forward to playing for him.
What's the adjustment been like for you guys so far?
The adjustment has been really just learning new plays, learning how the new things work around here and stuff like that. In the weight room and stuff, it's been a lot different. We're looking forward to it. It's a lot different, but it's a fun experience, fun atmosphere.
Justin Ferguson.
Nick, there's a lot of change, obviously, with the new coaches and the new offense and stuff like that. But how much does it help that y'all pretty much brought back everybody on the offensive line? So you guys, as the players, know each other really well.
Yeah, I've always talked about that. It's huge. We didn't lose anyone really, other than Trent Kelly. He's gone. But other than that, starting five still together. Obviously, Brandon Council is still there. He's learning the new offensive stuff, but obviously not practicing with his knee injury. But yeah, it's big. Just knowing what the guy next to you is going to do.
Next is Philip Marshall.
Nick, obviously, it's a challenge when you're close to one staff and then you wake up one morning and they're gone and then there's a new staff. Just talk about the challenges of that, of accepting things as they are and then getting used to totally new guys.
Yeah, it's a lot different. You build relationships and stuff with people, and then the next day it's kind of like they're gone, and then a whole new group comes in. I think the new staff's done a great job though, building those relationships with us and doing stuff with us that we have culture groups and stuff like that with different position coaches that really help kind of build that relationship with other parts of the staff, not just your position group. So they've done a great job, with that transition.
Nathan King.
Hey Nick, I wanted to ask what you have seen out of Keandre. I know last year he was kind of thrown into that, but he did a pretty good job coming in for Brandon. Now with him getting started, having a full off season after winter workouts, just kind of what have you seen out of his preparation?
Yeah, I've seen he's really focused, really driven guy, really strong guy too. He can move people off the ball, and he's quick, man. He's got all the tools necessary to be an offensive lineman in the SEC and the next level too. So I think he's a great player, and he's a great addition to the O-line from last year, and he's only going to get better moving forward.
Jordan Hill.
And with you guys having to replace 4 starters last year, there was obviously some ups and downs. What kind of motivation do you see among this group? Like you said earlier, you guys really didn't lose that many guys from last year's line.
Yeah, we as a group we're tight, and so the motivation is just to keep getting better every day with the guys that we have. That's our goal, is just to be the best that we can be, and really that should be anybody's goal. But we want to win an SEC championship. We want to win a national championship, and so it starts in spring football, and we're looking forward to putting in the work to do that.
Mark Murphy.
Anything in particular you're working on personally in your game this spring?
Yeah, I'm really working on getting my lower body stronger. I've had a couple injuries down there in my legs and stuff, and so just doing that in the off season, in the rehab room and stuff like that, just to get quicker and stuff and more powerful throughout my lower body.
Jeff Spiegel.
Hey Nick, a while ago when you told Tom that things were a lot different, it sounds like you were speaking of the weight room in particular, what's the biggest difference there, I guess, in terms of strength conditioning or just anything?
Yeah, so we had our max week this past week, and so I think one of the biggest differences is that, with Coach Russell, we did a few reps for max instead of 1 rep max, which is, it's not better or worse, it's just different, and so I think that's probably the biggest difference is we probably lift heavier weights.
Bill Cameron?
Nick, you talked about everybody being back, but is everybody back at the same spots? In other words, some cross training or guys moving around to different spots than they lined up last year?
No, sir. I think everybody's at the same spot. Just trying to learn the new offense, and so I think they want to keep everybody in the same spot for right now, at least in early spring. And then once we learn everything, once we get everything installed, we might cross train a little bit.
Josh Patel?
Last year, you guys had periods of success up front, but obviously a lot of injuries. How hard is it for an offensive line when you have different guys having to move in and out of the lineup because of absences or injuries and things like that?
Yeah, it's tough. We're all in the same offensive line room. Everybody knows what to do, but it really is just like small little quirks that other guys have, and just knowing, like I said before, like knowing what the guy next to you is going to do, what he knows. So you kind of. As me, I make the ID on the offense, and then I know that everybody knows their job, but maybe sometimes, some guy might not know, like he's been working with the second team center or something, and he just calls it different. So it's just kind of that's kind of stuff. Communication is a little bit different, but it's not hard to kind of learn as we go.
We got one more for Nick. It's from Brian Matthews.
Hi, Nick. Thanks for speaking to us. Coach Harsin talked a lot about implementing his culture when he arrived. What does that mean to players? How has the culture around the football team changed since he's gotten in?
Yeah, so our motto is 1-0 every day. Just take it one day at a time and win that day. And it starts with being on time, being locked in for meetings and stuff, and learning what you're supposed to do. And then you carry that over to the practice field and make sure you know what to do. And It's a really great atmosphere, environment to be around. I love it, man. Hard work, hard work is what Auburn's all about, and I think Coach Harson's got that down.
All right, Nick, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Owen, our first question is from Bill Cameron.
Oh, and we were just talking with Bo about the constant changes there have been on offense. Really, this will be the first big change for those of you guys over there on the defensive side. Talk about Coach Mason, the staff, getting to know them, and the biggest changes that you're seeing so far.
Man, Coach Mason, he's a great guy. We love the system that he's bringing in for us, and we love him as a person as well. Man, he's accepted us all as his sons. It feels like we're a real big family out there. But, change is always good for us, man, and we really like the stuff that we're seeing so far in practice.
Justin Ferguson.
Oh, and there's a linebacker who does some of everything, rushing the passer, dropping back in coverage, stopping the run, and all that. How much do you like playing in a defense like Coach Mason's because he asks his linebackers to do so many different things?
Man, I love it. Me as a Kobe, man, we chomping at the bit right now. We haven't even gotten in pads yet, and like the run fits that we see right now is, I'm just gonna say it's gonna be something crazy this year for us. But I really like it a lot, man. The opportunity for us to make a lot of plays is gonna be there.
Nathan King.
Hey, Owen, just in terms of leadership and just the kind of guy that he is, what kind of difference has it made now with Chandler being back with the team, and how excited are you to be able to go through spring practice with him again?
Oh, man, we love to have him back, man. We really missed him a lot last year. I was talking to him, and, he just had a healthy baby boy. But, man, we glad to have him back, and he's going to be real big help for us this year.
Jordan Hill.
Owen, what's the motivation like among you guys at linebacker? You and Jacoby specifically were really productive last year. Just, what's it sort of like going into this year?
Man, we taking the approach of, we're the heart of the defense. As we go up, the whole defense is going to go. So every day we try to come with the energy and just rally the guys every week.
Philip Marshall.
Oh, obviously in December you guys kind of got blindsided a little bit. You had to accept that, and then you had to get to know the new coaching staff. How difficult was that to do?
I mean, that's, changes always don't happen in life. So it's just the way that you respond to it. It obviously caught us all off guard. We didn't expect that to happen. But, the new staff that came in, man, we love these guys. They're all great people, every single one of them. And, really the message was for me and different players on the team, just getting everybody to just buy into the dream that Coach Harsin's trying to bring to us. So I mean, so far, man, everything's going good, man. We love these guys. We buying into the culture, and I think things are going to run smoothly this year.
Brian Matthews.
Hi, Owen. I want to ask you about Coach Harsin. What's he like as far as player discipline and holding players accountable? And has that been an adjustment for some of you guys?
Yeah, one thing I heard about him when just asking around when I didn't know who he was, they said, everything's 4 for 1 with him, man. He's not gonna let any crazy stuff fly. But man, we don't really have any discipline problems here. We don't got any knuckleheads running around. But he's making sure everybody's running around with that 1-0 mentality. I know he mentions that a lot, and that's basically, man, just doing everything right. Making sure all the little things count, man. Don't overlook anything, and just live with class and integrity. So, but yeah, everybody's doing good with that.
Tom Green.
Hey, Owen. With the new defensive staff, I think between Coach Mason, Coach Schmedding, and Coach Watts, you've got 3 guys who have experience as defensive coordinators. Just how valuable is that for you guys as players to have coaches that have that kind of experience as position coaches?
Yeah, it's really good for us, man. We have the opportunity to pick their brains, and when it comes to things like watching film, seeing certain run fits and whatnot, it's just building our football intelligence of just talking to them. So yeah.
Jason Caldwell.
Owen standing there showing off the guns for us. You guys have worked hard. A different type of weight program, strength program. How different do you feel now going on the field? A bigger, stronger guy. You and Jacoby added weight, but you've seen guys around you get bigger and stronger. Can you tell it already, the difference?
Man, we gonna look like some Marines come the fall. I'm telling you. But nah, man, Coach Pittman's program is crazy, man. Everybody, I think everybody PR'd last week when we did it. I know I hit a personal best for every single lift that we had, except for clean. But yeah.
So. Yeah, for you guys though, just to add that strength, do you think that's going to really pay off when you guys get back on the field in the fall?
Yeah, definitely, it is. It is.
Mark Murphy.
Talk about Truesdale coming back for another senior year. Is that going to help you linebackers?
Yeah, man, he got the most experience on the D line, man. So we need him to have that Derek Brown type effect. Try to just be a big problem in the hole, take up those double teams.
And another guy coming back for an extra senior year, T.D. Moultrie. You think he can step up his game this year?
Yeah, I think, man, he got a lot to prove, and he's been locked in. Just seeing him through these past few months, since we've been back in workouts and going through walkthroughs and all that. But he has a different focus to him this year, and I think he's going to have a big year.
Thanks.
Justin Ferguson.
Oh, and you talk about the defense being different. Those guys up front ahead of you on the defensive line are changing a lot. What have you seen from those guys? I know it's early, but adjusting to kind of this new system that they're running with Coach Mason.
Just from talking to the guys, they say they like it a lot. Like I said, we haven't gotten pads yet, so I haven't really seen it yet. But I feel like it's going to be a very productive season for the D-line.
Gianna Hahn.
And so you and Jacoby kind of took most of the snaps last year at linebacker, but I know you did try to get some of the young guys in.
Yeah.
What did you see from them over the offseason? How have they grown, and what should we expect from them as we head into the next?
You said the young guys?
Yes. I guess the rising sophomores.
Rising sophomores, yeah. I think one person that in particular that y'all gonna see a lot of this year is Ladarius Tennyson. He's been working really hard this off season. I think he's gonna have a huge year. Like a lot of people gonna know his name after this season. But all the young guys been working hard, man. I think they're gonna be able to step up and help us this year.
All right, we got time for one more. Jason Caldwell.
Oh, and with this system, you get a few more linebackers, some guys dropping back. What do you think this? I mean, how does it fit for guys like Derek Hall, Jaron Handy, Romello, those guys that can play a little edge, maybe a little linebacker at times? Have you seen that fit look good with them?
Yeah, I think it's just going to add to their resume, man. Just show their versatility, their ability to drop back in coverage, play a little man here and there, and then rush the passer. But I think it'll be good for them.
What about your young guys at linebacker, Cam Riley and Steiner, Tisdale, those guys? I mean, Tisdale maybe not this in the spring, but those other guys, what have you seen out of them in terms of growth?
Just watching a lot of film, studying the playbook, asking questions, just trying to get familiar with everything. But I think that they're going to be more of a help this year than they were last year.
All right, Owen, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, everybody.